The family of a woman who was strangled after being left in the clutches of a convicted murderer planned to sue the police over a catalogue of blunders. Ms Stubbings' family are also calling for a public inquiry into how forces deal with domestic violence. Ms Stubbings, 50, was murdered by Marc Chivers at her home in Chelmsford, Essex, in December 2008. He had been freed from a German prison less than a year earlier, after serving 15 years for murdering his then-girlfriend Sabine Rappold. Ms Stubbings' 15-year-old son Benji was left in the house with Chivers after his mother was killed, unaware that he was in grave danger. Police watchdog the Independent Police Complaints Commission, IPCC, has published a second highly critical report on the failures by Essex Police to protect Ms Stubbings and her son. Benji Stubbings said, "It's horrific to discover the extent of the police's failings, and hard to understand how they got it so wrong. The risk to my mum and to me was clear. I didn't have a clue at the time how close to death I was. I don't want other women and other children to go through an experience like that. We're all equal, we all deserve help and protection when we're in danger, and they knew the danger." 3 officers are facing misconduct proceedings over the case, but the IPCC report found it has implications for the whole force. Ms Stubbings had made repeated contact with the police about her ex-boyfriend Chivers, in April 2008 about a possible burglary and again in July that year when he assaulted her. The IPCC found Essex Police initially responded well, installing a panic alarm in her house and putting high-risk warning markers on the address. However, the force's efforts and those of other agencies then failed. The alarm was removed and no risk assessment was made of Chivers despite the fact he spent 4 months behind bars because of her assault complaint. On December 11 that year he burgled her home, stealing medication on which she was dependent, but a police call handler took down her address incorrectly so the warning markers did not come up and the call was downgraded. When officers visited the house on December 18, Chivers answered the door to them and said Ms Stubbings was away and her son was out. They looked in her bedroom and left, not realizing her body was underneath some coats in the downstairs toilet. The following day her body was found. The report found there was confusion over whether the December burglary should be classed as domestic abuse. It said, Essex Police missed a large number of opportunities to proactively safeguard Ms Stubbings and her son. They failed to monitor the situation, or undertake rigorous risk assessment and put safety measures in place. This, in spite of the fact they were well aware of the risks and dangers, having accurately recognized them in July 2008. It is ironical Ms Stubbings was offered the most support and protection whilst Chivers was in prison, when the risk from him was minimal. When he was released both she and her son were left completely vulnerable. This is the second report that the IPCC has published on the case. The first, released in 2010, was found to contain inaccuracies and the family wanted the scope of the inquiry to be increased. Chivers was jailed for life in 2009 for Ms Stubbings' murder. Police and Crime Commissioner for Essex Nick Alston said that while he was confident that there had been improvements in how the force deals with domestic violence, there are still significant areas of learning. Essex Police said it accepted the findings of the report. Chief Constable Stephen Kavanagh said, "We fully recognize that this is one of 3 tragic murders in Essex which has led to an IPCC investigation. We have taken on board the recommendations of those reports, many are already in place and work continues to improve the consistency of our response to domestic abuse."